Morning, guys. Look at my view. Oh, so pretty. Anyway, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I was asking her for this. Maybe I should say this is PG-13 or whatever you want to call it. Right. But I was asking her about this the Six game that she bought, right? Because I wanted to get it for another friend of mine. But when I asked her about that, I was just like, hey, what are the details, where did you get the game, all this stuff. And so at the end I was like, oh, don't worry, it's not for me, ha 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 ha. And she replied and she was like, oh, even if it was for you, that's fine. And I said, so I was like, I mean, no, right, that can't be the answer that you give me. And we just had like this really quick conversation around like just around how things played out. And it stuck with me so much, or it has stuck with me so much, like for the past week or so, because I'm so concerned that there is no accountability. So I think we're stuck in two places. I think on the one hand, there is no accountability between us as believers for the decision that we have made to follow Christ, right? On the other hand, I think that, I'm wondering, or I'm trying to figure out if we are consciously creating environments where people are not allowed to be vulnerable or to be transparent in the journeys that they are walking. And the concern actually runs quite deep, because because the Christian life cannot be lived in isolation. You know what I mean? I was listening to a talk the other day, and this guy was saying that and he was just talking about how the Christian walk, it's a personal walk, so how Christianity is about a relationship with me, and is about the relationship with me and God. And he was saying, that is very true, but in the same breath, it's not the relationship with me and God on my terms. It's a relationship with me and God on God's terms. And again, that just clicked in my spirit, because if I am a believer and I am unmarried and I am talking to you about a sex game, it is not okay if that game is for me. Somewhere you should be saying, Katie, we need to have a conversation. Let's talk about this, because what you are engaging with me here is not something that as a believer you should be engaging with. This, like, I think it's amazing to me how Christianity is almost like, how as a Christian community, we've kind of taken ourselves out of this notion of willful sin. If I'm not married and I'm having sex, I am sinning not only against God, but I'm sinning against my body. If I am a believer and and look, like, understand me, right? There's sin we struggle with, and there's a journey we walk, and as we get to, or as we build up to our freedom or our victory in that, we fall and sometimes we struggle. But if you are in my life and you know that I am a believer and there's sin that I am willfully doing, I'm not trying to address it, I'm not trying to, cheating on somebody, lying, gossiping, just all these things where we're like, okay, if I'm arrogant, if I'm prideful, if I'm boastful, like all these things, I'm just like, how do we live and say it's fine? I'm not going to address it because, I almost want to say, for the sake of our friendship. because I think that's where the deceit comes in. I'm like, okay, but surely if you're saying you love me not only as a sister in Christ but as a friend, surely you surely within that relationship within that context there's space for you to say, okay, listen, this is some stuff that's happening here, let's address it, because it's not okay. And I don't see that happening. Or every time I engage such a conversation, people run into the judgment and and I'm just like, yes guys, I am judging. I honestly I don't have time for the bad connotations that come with judgments. Like I have to, if I have to decide to turn left or right, that is a judgment. So surely I should be we have to. That's how we get through life, is in judgments. Anyway, so that's the one side of it. So then the other side is just about this thing of environments of transparency. And my concern there is, if I if I'm struggling and I find myself around a community of people who I cannot expose myself to, or I cannot be vulnerable to, then I have to question the people that I'm surrounding myself with, or the people that I'm talking to. I understand like that they are friends, like I've also got friends like that. Not all my friends can I go into Bible conversations with, like let's open the word and let's see, share with me what is God. Sometimes some people it's just like, oh, what's God sharing with you? Oh no, this morning he spoke to me about holiness. Okay, that's the end of the conversation. Some of my friends, when I ask that question, if I say, what's God talking to you about lately, I know it's going to be a 2 or 3 hour conversation. You know what I mean? So I understand that like there's different friendship levels and all this stuff, whatever. But what I'm talking about is just me, and this is the question I'm asking me really, is what atmosphere do I create for people? Is there a space for people to, can you fail safely in my presence? Can you come to me and be vulnerable, exposing yourself, to say, yes, Katie, I'm actually really struggling with this and I'm not sure what to do. Not necessarily because I have an answer, but just because you have to be talking to somebody about it. You know what I mean? Like, walk the journey with people. It's such a beautiful picture that out of the whole world, Jesus took 12 people. He chose 12 guys and he was like, okay guys, sharp, let's go. Let's walk. Because it's not everybody that you open your heart to, that you lay your heart open for. But it has to be some people. And sometimes they're in the same group of people and sometimes not. But if we aren't able to share with each other and say, yes, I'm actually really struggling here, or I don't know how to deal with this, or I'm not really sure how to address this, then we're always going to find ourselves outnumbered. Because the enemy's not going to come to you one man. He comes with everything he's got. And for us to come with everything we've got, God's given us community for that. So I find myself thinking about that. I really, like, for the past week, guys, I've been thinking about it more and more and more and more, and I'm just like, I don't know what's the answer. Maybe I need you to tell me. Or maybe we just each need to be more conscious about how we do things. But we can't not keep each other accountable when we say that there's love there, and we can't not create spaces where the people around us are not able to say, hey, this is my struggle, pray with me. Please exercise wisdom in that, because don't give your pearls to the swine. Some people really are swine. But I don't know, I don't know, I'm just like at a point I'm just like, God help us, really, just God help us. Anyway, have a good day.